Okay, I'm just gonna do a quick video on resealing the oil pan on this 2004 Mazda 3S as my oil pan was leaking where it meets up with my rear seal up in there. I just wanted to kind of go over some of the highlights of what you need to remove. And I'm just gonna go, we're gonna go into the car here and I'm gonna show you. The first thing you have to drop down is your AC compressor, and you can see how I've just got it pushed over to the side there. Now the next thing that you'll need to remove out of the pan is the dipstick, which you just have two little bolts up on the intake. You remove those and then just pull it out. Now to get the oil pan down, you've got several bolts that hold it, but along with that you have a bolt here on this back side of the transmission. You've got a couple that are going into it here on the back side of this oil pan, so you'll have two there, and then on top of that you have down here in the timing cover, you have four coming across through here. Now the problem, or the difficult part of this, is going to be getting this to seal here where we have the front of this timing cover. And I'm going to have to put a bead going all the way across through there and in these little junctions, and I'm also going to have to put a bead on my oil pan, and I'm going to have to be very delicate when placing that right there. So the only silicone I'm actually going to put on the car here is I'm going to put it down this seam right here, and the rest of it I'm just going to be putting on the oil pan itself before I go to place. And it's not real difficult to get into place, it's just going to be difficult on this end down here with the timing cover. And also I'm taking brake cleaner and I'm going to go over all this again and clean this up. And also I'm going to be using this ultra black, which is the maximum oil resistance, like the best thing for this. And so I've got this cleaned up here, so I'm going to get underneath with brake cleaner and go ahead and clean that surface again where the oil is dripped. And then we're going to go ahead and get a bead around this, and I'm going to put a bead thin layer here, and then I'll also put that thin layer on the back side of that timing cover that I was showing you. Okay, and I want to show you how I just made sure I got really good coverage all the way around this, more especially here and more especially right here where it's going to meet up with that timing cover and where it's going to meet up with that rear seal. Very important. So we're going to go ahead and carefully try to work this into the car here at this point. Okay, I wanted to show you what I've done and point a few things out. Now I've just put the oil pan back up there and just placed all the bolts in. They're not tight, they're just kind of barely tightened down. We're going to let this set up for a full 24 hours. Now when you put this in here, it's going to be very tight getting this in, so that was my only concern. You know, we're going to see how this does, but it's very tight getting that in there because of the way this car is made. Like the oil pan is like the first thing besides the rear seal, and then they put the oil pan and then the timing cover bolts to that. This just the way that it all comes together, it makes it difficult to get it in. So, you know, I don't want to take the whole timing cover. I mean, I'd have to pretty much pull the engine out of here to do this. So we're hoping this is going to work. Like I said, I was just careful, but it was really a tight fit. I had to get it real straight and get it in there, and pushed a lot of silicone on out. But I just want to show you where the bolts are, and they're just placed in there You have those going through the front of the timing cover, and then you got one on each side of your transmission, and then you also have one that's right back here in the back that goes through, and I've just kind of left them loose for now. I'm just waiting for this to cure. Now the only other thing, when I put this back, I will have to get my AC compressor bolted back up here, and I have all my bolts just sitting right over here to the side, and we'll just bolt that back up. It slips over this stud and then bolts up, and then I will use the zip tie method that I seen online, and I will put that belt and reuse this because it's still a good belt. It's like a new belt. And once I get that back on, I will put my dipstick back in here and refasten it to the intake up there. But as far as what you got to remove, there's not a lot. It's just your air compressor and removing the dipstick, and then you can just unbolt everything and pull it down. So I'm going to let this set up for 24 hours, and I'll follow up and let y'all know how it's holding up. But I'm hoping. The only thing I was concerned about, like I said, the front, because I had no way of pulling that out to give me slack. So we'll see how it goes, and thank y'all for watching.